Achira Oda, for this chapter of One Piece, chill. This, you see, we knew that this was gonna happen. We could see it a mile away, like Kurt Angle 1,000-yard stare. We knew it was gonna happen. But that doesn't mean it's not a heavy moment. Just because there's a mattress at the bottom of the cliff doesn't mean that falling off the cliff isn't going to hurt. Yo, that last sequence with Kuma running and like his life when he was a kid, then when he was a young adult, then when he's in the Revolutionary Army, then when he's a Shichibukai and just running along, meanwhile doing that sort of Nika pose all the way through. And then Vegapunk, that kill switch, because that what it was effectively. The man known as Bartholomew Kuma would cease to exist from this point onwards, aside from within the memories of people, those that actually cared about him. The scientists, Sentomaru, Vegapunk, Bonney and her crew. And when is a man truly dead? What did Dr. Hiraluk say back on Drum Island?
違う! 人に忘れられた時さ。
A man is truly dead when he is forgotten. But that doesn't change the impact of this man's life being told to us in one series of chapters. And then it ends off in this way where it literally ends when the man's quote-unquote life is over. And now we know that the bubble that Bonney put her arms into, that Kuma bubble no longer exists. So the idea now that somehow Kuma's memory bubble could go into, let's say, S-Bear, or go into the giant robot that is being activated by the Drum's liberation? No. That can't happen anymore, bro. Bonney, the last panel, the tears overflowing. Wish her a happy 10th birthday. Oy.
Hey, what's going on?
Oda in flashbacks, he's a monster. He's a demon.
He's nothing but pure evil.
If you took One Piece and made it a series of flashbacks, this couldn't be aired on television outside of HBO because it's too heavy. It's too much. This couldn't be for kids. It'd be rated M for mature. In fact, it'd be so explicit, it might have to be on Pornhub.
What do you mean by that?
Bro, no, dude. Woo! Listen,
Look here!
You can check out my live stream reaction to this chapter where? On the Cole Requiem channel, link in the box below. 1, 2. The entire stream on my twitch.tv channel, also link in the description box down below. So, Bartholomew Kuma. We're gonna find out sooner rather than later if he comes on in and tries to save Bonney from the clutches of one St. J. Garcia Saturn. But this flashback, I think a lot of folks, obviously, considering how heavy it is, considering how it's fresh in our minds, aka recency bias. A lot of folks are saying unequivocally, hey yo, this is the best flashback in One Piece by far. Maybe not by far, but they're saying that it's the best flashback. And I can understand why, because in terms of impact, for a maybe not a minor character, side character, key character, however you want to define Kuma and Bonney, for these sort of characters, I think it's fair to say that it's within the top 3 flashbacks. There are flashbacks that I think you could argue in terms of impact mean more because they're for main characters like Robin. You can argue by default that should have more impact to us, the readers, because we care essentially more about Robin than we do characters like Kuma and Bonney. In the grand scheme of things, I won't say for this moment in this chapter, in this arc, but in the grand scheme of things, Robin matters more to us, unless Bonney is going to be a future Straw Hat.
No.
This has been a pretty impactful, and not only impactful, but very important flashback too, because it clarifies so many things that have been going on in the past, particularly involving Kuma. Dragon on occasion, like we see Dragon talk to Sabo about going to Logtown. Smoker has Logtown on his jurisdiction. So it clears up a lot of these details in the background for things that happened in the past already. So it's not just impact, but in terms of the overall story progression, this flashback has provided quite a bit. This chapter has provided quite a bit. We all know what Kuma did at Thriller Bark, and we all know what happened afterwards when it came to that epic moment with Zoro taking on Luffy's pain, and then now we see that from Kuma's perspective, where Kuma removes the pain from Luffy's body, which a lot of folks, including myself, won't have it again, so we can get the Nika back on up, so Nika can do a little bit of to a certain
Devil
named J. Garcia Saturn. But I digress. We get Kuma's perspective on this, and the amount of pain that he's removing from Luffy's body could potentially even knock him out. Kuma is quite a durable person who has gone through this time and time again since he was a young kid, and he's seeing Luffy and company do all these great things, whether it's talking about the rookies that declared war on the world government, of course, Luffy and crew at Enies Lobby, whether it was afterwards, after the bark, him being there at ground zero, seeing it firsthand with Luffy's crew, saying we're not gonna give up Luffy, whether it was later on at Shibone Archipelago, this big old bear peeking from the attic, looking at Luffy and company do their thing, and punching a celestial dragon, seeing Usopp drop on Rosewald and all that stuff. This man became a hardcore fan. This man was peeping the Straw Hat game even before Bartolomeo was. And they have the right mindset, but they're not ready for the new world. Let me set it up. And he did so. He set it up. And so getting Kuma's perspective is vital for a lot of questions folks had about Kuma and his objectives. Even when it came to guarding the Sunny Go, one of the last things he talks about Vegapunk with is that. Man, Kuma is unbelievable. Upper body of a god, lower body of a nerd, the mindset of a saint and a heart of gold. A lot of folks right now are putting Bartholomew Kuma as one of their favorite characters in all of One Piece. And the sympathy tidal wave that Bonney is emitting all across the fandom is massive. Because knowing after this, she watches the feat of Marineford at Shibone Archipelago, and she's crying when she decides to leave. What the hell just happened? I'm seeing my dad, who was not the same man who raised me. Kuma was watching Bonney at Shibone that recently, and like a few days later, gone. Bonney, you really do feel for her coming of it all, where your sympathy, your heart's opening up, like Kingdom Hearts. Like, you have the Keyblade switch, and you're like, oh my god, Bonney, please. Like, damn, Bonney, maybe you should join the crew, because your flashback is worthy. It is worthy of a Straw Hat crew member for damn sure. The pace of the chapter was pretty simple, straightforward, and pretty good. In terms of character, Kuma and Bonney shine the most. There is Jay. Good old Jay. Good old St. J. Garcia Saturn. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, make sure you put a self-destruct device out of Kuma. Like, bro, what are you doing?
No, sir, I don't like it.
He also makes the claim that if Vegapunk tried to do this sort of circuit trick where Kuma could maintain this sort of split personality, Jay says, I'm gonna catch that. The god hand of science and defense, he is so confident in his scientific and tech skills that he could see that would allow Kuma to have a Cavendish moment. Is that glaze? Way too much barbecue sauce on the ribs? More sauce than rib? Or is there a hefty amount of meat there? I'm not too sure. Pause. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder who may have his body. That Vegapunk kind of slid in there, unbeknownst to Saturn. But at the same time, various scientists across the world do make the claim that in certain categories, they are better than Vegapunk. And in some sense, it feels like Jay is making somewhat similar claims. And if Vegapunk were to have this circuit inside of Kuma's body, and Jay has no idea it's there, then it kind of makes it feel like he's lying. And he's not as good as Vegapunk in terms of science, even though he is that confident that he can catch this as the god hand of science and defense. Because someone as soft-hearted as Vegapunk, pulling that kill switch as if he were the executioner, I think there could be something going on there. Because Kuma is obviously going over to Bonney's location right now. You have to wonder why. There is one final thing that Kuma was requesting of Vegapunk, and Vegapunk said, yeah, I know. It's what they were talking about, the final section of the chapter, happy 10th birthday? Or does it involve a certain line of code outside of defend the Sunny Go, protect Bonney, given X, Y, and Z situation? So, character-wise, the chapter has to offer, obviously. Story-wise, too, for damn sure. And when it comes to theory brain, it does give you a lot of crumbles to munch on. Like, for example, if the reason why Kuma is on the move right now to save Bonney, maybe that is some degree of Kuma's will. And it kind of harkens back to, let's say, the words of Lilith at the beginning of the arc, where she claims that that shark, even though it was modified, it still has the instincts of a shark. Therefore, it's going to try and eat the Sunny Go. Maybe Kuma's instincts are just firing off and he's going to the spot he needs to go, and he knows instinctively, even though he's right now mindless and has no memory. Another perspective could be it's the devil fruit, the Niku Niku no Mi ability itself, where the ability itself, now that Kuma is somewhat mindless, the ability itself is somewhat taking charge in some way. The hands of liberation that Kuma had forged are acting to try and save those that are precious to Kuma. So this chapter, all in all, this chapter, the emotional impact was heavy, I'd argue, a very heavy chapter. Right now, I just really want Kuma to just come out of nowhere, smack Luffy's pain, just give him that old school sportsmanship smack out of his body, and then dunk like a prime LeBron James. Just dunk a gigantic, titanic pain orb the size of the island right on top of Saturn. All the pain he's been accumulating for 2 years plus, defending the Sunny Go, then being the top slave of the Holy Land, then getting saved by Sawa and the boys, getting tuned up and checked up, but going to the Holy Land, ramming headfirst, and then trying to climb the red line as Marine soldiers try and take him down. Then, voila, here's a Kainu. May go. Oh no, my foot. But I'm gonna go. And he goes, I need, yes, please. Please. I want this guy to literally devastate Jay Garcia Saturn with a giant paint orb. And matter of fact, even wake up Luffy, have Luffy just Toon Force punch him into that ball. I want a Dragon Ball FighterZ dramatic finish. Don't. That's what I want right now. That's what I want. I want these dudes, the Celestial Dragons, no redemption. Zero. Zilch, nada. There's no, well, technically, Jay, he was traumatized by Buccaneers when he was younger, man. No. I want death. I want destruction. I want gore. I want bloodshed. I want blood to rain down from the Holy Land. I want a Bloodborne style situation on the Holy Land. I want old school Crusaders when they were at their peaks marching through the Holy Lands. We gotta take out some Gorosei in the most painful way. And when I say the most painful way, I mean like bring out the medieval activity. Medieval, all right? It's in the name, evil. It's gotta be some sinister, foul, angry Nikas pulling on up. Like, no. We're done. No. Overall, I would say this chapter, 8 out of 10. I would say this was a great chapter of One Piece. But let me know your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video content, once again, rate it, subscribe, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.